All right, let's dive right in. We're talking about something that can absolutely poison a workplace from the inside out, but it often does it so quietly you don't notice until it's too late. We're talking about manipulative leadership. It's this hidden, corrosive threat, and today we're going to pull back the curtain on how it works, and more importantly, how to stop it. So let me just start by asking you a question. Think about your boss, or a boss you've had in the past. Are they just tough? Someone with high standards who pushes you to be better. Or is it something else? Something more toxic? That line can feel really blurry sometimes, but trust me, the difference is everything. So here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the two fundamentally different faces of leadership. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of how manipulators tear down trust and kickstart a toxic downward spiral. But we won't leave you there. We'll finish up with the good stuff, how you can spot the red flags and ultimately build a culture that acts like an impenetrable shield. Okay, so what is the real difference here? At its core, it's actually not about their personality type or whether they're an introvert or an extrovert. It all boils down to one simple fundamental thing: their intent. Who are they really in it for? And when you put them side by side, wow, it is just night and day, isn't it? On one hand, you have ethical leaders. They're trying to lift everyone up, to empower their teams, to achieve a common goal. It's all about trust. But on the other side, it's just about control. It's about serving themselves, and they do it by exploiting people's weaknesses. They're not building a team, they're just collecting pawns. So how does a manipulator actually get away with this? I mean, they don't just walk in and announce they're going to be a terrible boss, right? No, it's a death by 1,000 cuts. They systematically and very deliberately erode the ethical foundation of the team. And their first target is always the same: trust. And here's why it's so powerful and so dangerous. Manipulation isn't trying to win a logical debate with you. It's designed to completely bypass the rational part of your brain and go straight for your emotions. It targets your insecurities, your fears, your sense of guilt, and it uses those feelings to get you to do things you normally wouldn't. A classic and, frankly, a really nasty tool in their playbook is gaslighting. This is when they intentionally make you feel like you're going crazy. They'll deny saying things you know they said. They'll twist events to make you question your own memory. It's a deeply effective way to make you doubt yourself and become more dependent on them. And this right here, this is their whole playbook. Notice a pattern? It's all about control. They hoard information, so you have to go through them. They never, ever take the blame for their own mistakes. It's always someone else's fault. And maybe the biggest one, they create an atmosphere where you're just too afraid to ask questions or push back. This isn't just poor leadership. It's a calculated strategy. And when a leader behaves like this, it's never contained. It's like a virus. Their behavior creates this toxic ripple effect that doesn't just damage their direct reports. It can infect and poison the culture of an entire organization. You can see exactly how this vicious cycle works. It starts with fear. Then what happens? Your best people, the ones with strong ethics and plenty of other job options, they're the first to leave. So who's left behind? Well, it's either the people who are too scared to leave, or worse, the ones who start to go along with the bad behavior. And before you know it, that toxicity isn't the exception anymore, it's the norm. And the fallout from this is just devastating. Innovation completely grinds to a halt because nobody is willing to stick their neck out with a new idea. You see burnout and turnover just go through the roof. And eventually, all that internal rot starts to smell from the outside, destroying your company's reputation and putting its very future in jeopardy. Okay, so that's the grim part. That's the problem. But let's pivot now, because it's not hopeless. How do we actually fight back? It's all about getting proactive, about learning to spot these red flags before they can do serious damage. And this is absolutely crucial to understand. You can't wait until the culture is already broken to start fixing it. The absolute best defense is catching these manipulative tendencies early on, like during the hiring process or before a big promotion. You have to stop them before they're in a position of power. And here we've got a fantastic toolkit to do just that. Behavioral interviews are great because you can ask about past failures. Do they own it, or do they blame their old team? And 360-degree feedback is an absolute must because manipulators are masters of managing up. They can be incredibly charming to their superiors while being total tyrants to the people below them. This is how you catch that two-faced behavior. Now, tools like these are super helpful, but your ultimate, most powerful defense isn't a process. It's your culture. A healthy, strong organizational culture is like a robust immune system for the company. It can identify and neutralize toxic threats before they spread. And at the very heart of that immune system is something called psychological safety. It's this shared feeling that you can speak up, you can ask a question, challenge an idea, or even admit a mistake without fear of being punished or humiliated for it. A manipulator's tactics, which thrive in fear and secrecy, simply cannot survive in a place like this. So, how do you actually build this shield? What does it look like in the real world? Well, a strong culture creates a set of behaviors and norms that make the entire environment hostile to manipulation. And these are the pillars that hold it up. Think about it. In a culture that actually encourages dissent, a manipulator can't just steamroll their agenda. In a culture that protects whistleblowers, they can't hide their bad behavior. And when accountability applies to everyone, they can't act like the rules don't apply to them. Every single one of these pillars systematically strips a manipulator of their power. So, I'll leave you with this one question to really think about. Look around your own workplace. Is its culture a shield, one that actively protects its people and promotes safety? Or has it, maybe without even realizing it, become a breeding ground, a place with dark corners where manipulation can grow? The answer to that question changes everything.